Is still joining, so she can't hear or participate yet. So
Okay, I'll wait. All right. All right, so we've got 6 of us. We've got quorum. So I'm calling the meeting to order now. And Jasmine, I'll kick it directly over to you to go through the virtual meeting procedures.
great. Thank you, Jackie. So good evening. My name is Jasmine Moore. I'm the Sustainability Director for the City of Lawrence, and I'll be facilitating the Zoom portion of the meeting today. This meeting is being recorded and broadcast on the city's YouTube channel and the public access channel, Channel 25. During the meeting, please mute yourself by clicking on the microphone icon found in the lower left-hand side of the Zoom menu next to the video icon. When you are muted, a red line will appear over that icon. Muting your microphone during the meeting will make it easier for everyone else to hear. You'll just have to remember to unmute yourself if and when you want to speak. In some cases, I may mute you if we hear some background noise, and then I'll unmute you as needed. And I would request that each time you speak, please remember to state your name and title. So I'll refer to myself as staff. If you could just you can just say your name unless you're speaking for public comment, for the benefit of those that are just listening remotely. In the menu, in the Zoom menu, you can also turn your camera on or off by clicking the video icon. And for the purposes of this public meeting, especially for the Sustainability Board members, please keep your video on during the meeting so that we can see that you're participating and present. If you're participating by phone, you can press *6 to unmute your phone. And for those using Zoom, somewhere on your screen you'll see a choice to toggle between speaker and gallery view. Speaker view shows the active speaker, and gallery view tiles all the meeting participants. All motions will need to be stated clearly, and after a motion is made and seconded, the chair will call on board members individually to provide their vote, and I'll record them. We have we don't have anybody that's expressed interest in providing public comment ahead of the meeting, but I do see some folks that are in attendance. So if you would like to speak on an item, the chair will give some time for that, or you can raise your hand and we can note that as well. So I'd like to remind everyone again to please mute yourself when you're not speaking, and now I'll turn the meeting back over to the chair.
Okay, thank you, Jasmine. This is Jackie Carroll, Chair. I will move on to our next item, which is to approve our minutes from last month, so our December minutes. I will at this time take any corrections if anybody has any, and if there are none, I will take a motion to approve them.
Hi, this is Kay Johnson. I'll move to approve the minutes.
Thanks, Kay. Can I have a second, please?
This is Mako, second.
Okay, thanks. So we've got a motion by Kay to approve the minutes and a second by Mako Kwa. I'm going to read through each member now to get an aye or a nay for your vote on approving the minutes of December. Jasmine, I just want to check with you since we've got a couple new members tonight. Is it, I know we've got quorum with these two folks, so would I call on them for a vote?
Yes, since they are technically members, you can call on them for a vote.
Okay, I will do so then. So, Kay, I'll start with you.
Aye.
Thank you. Mako Kwa? Mako Kwa, can I get an aye or a nay, please?
You're muted right now.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Aye.
Thank you.
Got it.
Okay, Kira? We still have Kira. Oh,
Aye.
thank you. Sarah?
Hi, I hate for my first vote to be an abstention, but I don't think I got a copy of those minutes, and I wasn't here at that meeting, so.
Okay. I think it's appropriate to abstain from a vote. Jasmine, can you confirm?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, I'll take your abstention. Ben?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, so, and I'm going to call myself last. I also say aye, so we have that, let's see, five votes for aye. Does that consider it
Yes.
passing, Jasmine?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so that has been passed to approve the minutes. I will move on to our next items then. So, Jasmine, I'm not sure if you want to kick off introductions, but our next item is introductions of our two new members tonight.
Yeah, so usually when we have new members of a board, we take some time for all the board members to do introductions. Again, I'll just start myself, Jasmine Moore. I'm the Sustainability Director for the City of Lawrence, and I am the staff liaison for this board. So I help to support and serve as a resource for you all as members and help set the agenda and make sure the minutes are posted and all the associated resources with the meeting. So yeah, I think it would be appropriate if everyone wants to go around and just give a little bit about who you are and maybe your history with the board.
Okay, I don't mind kicking it off. I'm Jackie Carroll. Hi, welcome to the board. We're very happy to have both of you tonight. I've been on the board for a while now, 5 or 6 years maybe, and this will be the end of my second year as chair. So I look forward to having some time where I am able to hopefully lend some knowledge from all that experience on the board for the next year or two. And my experience in sustainability really is just a continuing interest since grad school and being involved in pretty much any sustainability related professional organization that I was happy to be involved with my professional career, and I am currently a stay-at-home parent. So I will pass it on to another board member now. Maybe we can just go in the order that we did our votes. So Kay, would you mind going next?
Sure. My name is Kay Johnson, and I'm the Sustainability and Environment Manager for Proseco in Lawrence. And I've been on the board a couple of years now. I am also involved in many other environmental and sustainability activities, and one includes being the executive chair for the Douglas County Emergency Management LEPC, and I'm involved with a lot of other environmental and sustainability activities in the community. So, welcome.
Makokwa, would you mind going next?
Yeah. Bonjour, my name's Michael Kwa, Abigail Jones. I'm sorry if it kicks me off. It's kicked me off like 3 times, but I'm going to try and get through this before it kicks me off again. So I'm a citizen of the Prairie Band Potawatomi Nation. I worked there in their environmental planning or the environmental protection office for 4 years. Now I currently serve as the chair for the Kansas Democratic Party Native American Caucus. I also co-chair the climate change subcommittee for the SAB board with Kira. I work with the League of Women Voters, and I sit on the Kansas Association of Conservation and Environmental Education on their board of directors. I work in local politics and tribal advocacy.
All right, Kira, would you go next, please?
Hey everybody, I hope you can hear me okay. I'm Kira McPherson. I'm an activist. My big pet project is the Green New Deal. So if the 2 new members can start reading up about the Green New Deal, that would make me so happy. What else are we supposed to say?
It's up to you. This is just an introduction, why you're involved with SAB, perhaps.
Oh, I'm a co-chair of the Climate Crisis Committee with Makokwa. There's not much to know about me, that's all.
Okay, thank you. Sarah, would you like to go next?
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name's Sarah Chenoweth. I'm super happy to be here. Thanks so much for letting me be here. I am relatively new to Lawrence. I have just started attending KU. I'm a Master of Public Administration student there. I'm originally from Pittsburgh, Kansas, and I served on the city commission while I was there, and I actually helped start our sustainability advisory committee down there a couple of years ago, and served on that and to get them going, and also really involved in politics. And I'm super happy to be here. I've attended the Climate Action Day in Topeka for the last few years, and environmentalism and sustainability has always been one of my passions. So I'm really happy. Anyway, thanks.
Welcome again. Thank you. All right, Ben, go ahead.
Yeah, hi, my name is Ben Sykes, Benjamin. I guess that's what my mom calls me. I'm an associate professor at KU in the Department of Ecology and Evolutionary Biology, and I'm also an associate scientist with the Kansas Biological Survey, which is housed on the campus. But of course, I'm participating in the Sustainability Advisory Board as a private citizen, not as a representative of KU. But yeah, my background is mostly in ecology and focused on soils. We work on things like perennial agriculture, microbes. We do all kinds of stuff like that. Apart from that, I've been in Lawrence for about 7 years. I think we've been here. And I have 4 boys that are spread across the school system. So I definitely have a vested interest in making sure that we lead a sustainable community and apart from the work that I do, which is really focused on the environment and sustainability.
Wonderful. Thank you, and welcome again. Okay, well, I believe that would conclude our introductions. So I will move on to the major item of the night, which is our elections. I am going to run through kind of the procedure first, and then we will get on with it. So first, I am going to go through the election process for the chair position. And I will first call for a nomination. Multiple nominations are fine. And you are eligible as long as you are a board member and you are willing to serve in that position. you are also free to nominate yourself. At that point, we will continue to the vote, and we will do that by a motion, second vote. So we'll go through nomination, a motion, a second, and a vote. And then hopefully that would be the end of that. And we would move on to the exact same process for vice chair. If there are multiple nominations, we might do that a little bit differently, but I don't anticipate that. So first we will go, I will take nominations now for the chair position.
I nominate Makakwa.
Thank you. Okay, any other nominations for the chair position? Okay, so at this point then I will take a motion for Makakwa to become chair.
I move she become chair.
Thank you, Kira. I have a motion from Kira for Makakwa to become chair. And Makakwa, I'm just going to check in with you really quick before we move too far to make sure that you are willing to serve in that role.
Yes, I am willing to serve in that role.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. I will move on to accepting a second for that motion now.
I'll second. This is Kay Johnson.
Okay, I have a second from Kay. Thank you. Jasmine, at this point, is it appropriate to have public comment on this item? Or considering that it's an administrative item, we pass that up?
You can have public comment. I would also encourage you to ask for discussion if there's any discussion from the group.
Okay, so I will ask for discussion first from board members. Okay, I don't hear any. So I will leave it open to public comment now if anyone has public comment on this item.
And I'm just monitoring the board, and I don't see anybody's hand raised, or you could also turn on your video if you're interested in giving any public comment on this item. And there is no one here in the chambers.
Okay, great. Okay, I will take that as no public comment then and move on to, we got a hand clap. Okay, cool. So not an official comment, but we got some hand claps. Okay, so I will run through our list for votes now, and I will take ayes and nays. So I am going to start with Kira.
Heck yeah.
Thank you. Kay.
Aye.
Thank you. Makakwa.
Yes.
Thank you. Sarah.
Hi.
Thank you. And Ben.
Aye.
Okay, and I vote aye as well. So that passes unanimously. Congratulations, Makakwa. You are the new SAB chair.
Yay, thanks, guys. I look forward to serving you.
Wonderful. I look forward to you leading our group very much. Okay, so we have concluded the chair vote process. We are going to move to vice chair now. And again, nominations first, and then we will do the motion second and vote. So at this time, I'm going to take nominations for vice chair.
I nominate Kira.
Okay, we've got a nomination for Kira. Any further nominations? Okay, I don't hear any. So I will take a motion for Kira to be vice chair.
I move that Kira be vice chair.
Okay, thank you, Ben. I have a motion from Ben that Kira become vice chair. Can I get a second, please?
I second that. This is Makakwa.
Thank you, Makakwa. Okay, so I will run through the list for votes now.
Oh, wait, we have to do discussion and public comment and check in with Kira to see if she accepts.
That's right. Thank you, Jasmine. Okay, Kira, I'm going to check with you first. Are you willing to serve as vice chair?
Can you hear me?
I can now, yes.
Oh, geez. There isn't anybody else who wants to do it.
That is unknown. Does anybody else have any interest in serving as vice chair?
Kira, I will say you don't have to accept.
I think we all know I'm like really, really good at the activist stuff, but I'm not like super great at like, I don't want to screw up like some details or organizational stuff. And I feel like that's a not unvalid concern, like with me. Like, I mean, we can all be honest here. I would like to hear, do you have to be really, really organized to do this particular position?
The only requirements are that you fulfill the duties of the chair if the chair is not able to. And the duties of the chair are simply to preside at board meetings, which is what I'm doing right now, and then to represent the board in front of the city commission if necessary.
Jeez,
Chairs and
Jackie.
vice chairs can always do more, but that can't do less.
I'm the one who wants like a puppet to talk to people because I don't like, oh God. Okay, that's, you know what? My resume is terrible and I need a better job than this tour because it's killing me. So this actually would help me if, God, you guys are going to have to help me out though. Okay, I'll
Happy
do
to.
it.
Okay,
I'll do it.
sounds like you're willing.
Ugh.
Open up to, you can take that back at any point if you want, Kira, before we vote. I will open it up to discussion with the board now, if there is any. Okay, I don't hear any discussion from the board, so I will open it up to public comment now.
So there is no one here physically for public comment. I don't see any movement in the chat box or the participant list. If you would like to make public comment, just add something in the chat or put your video on.
More general support from chat room. Okay, I will leave it at that and move on to the vote then. So the motion is for Kira to become vice chair, and I will start with Kay.
Aye.
Thank you. Makokwa?
Aye.
Thank you. Kira?
Yes, okay.
Thank you. Sarah?
Aye.
Thank you. And Ben?
Aye.
Thank you. And my vote is aye as well. So that passes unanimously as well. Congratulations, Kira. You are the new vice chair of SAB. And I keep that offer open if you ever have questions or need a little extra support for something for vice chair duties. I'm more than happy to help with that.
Oh, I'm going to need it from all of you. You all think you just nominated me, but you all played yourselves. I'm going to need everybody. Thank you.
Okay.
Got you, Kira. We got you.
Yeah. Okay, so we have concluded our administrative items for the evening. We have a subcommittee report item slated on the agenda. I believe we have one active subcommittee right now. Makokwa, or Kira, are there any updates from that subcommittee that you wish to share with the wider board?
I don't think we had a meeting in December, did we, Jasmine?
We had a December, no, you're right. Well, I'm trying to remember now. I think that's the one that you all may have met without me.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, yeah, I remember now. We talked about doing more of an online presence. Kay, remind me what we talked about. I know doing some online social media stuff to get information out there to kind of engage the public right now as we're going through the climate action and adaptation plan. and we were kind of spitballing ideas about how to do that. And we were going to talk with you, Jasmine, further about how to coordinate that. What else did we talk about, Kay?
I think that's pretty much it. We decided that it was really important to go forward with some social media and to let the community know that we were working on this revision of the climate and adaptation plan. And we didn't know exactly what staff was doing yet with the social media piece, because I think Jasmine, you hired someone, but we didn't know exactly what had happened yet.
Yeah, and I can just share.
Yeah, we were going to ask for an update. Yeah, on the two, on who was chosen, or whether both of those groups were chosen, who had proposed the community engagement piece.
Yeah, I can just provide a brief update on that. For the communication piece, we are partnering with a local firm who's actually volunteering their time to help with some of the communication pieces. So Bark Media is the communication group that we're working with. And we're in the process of looking at some design specs so that we can get our website up and start to get some information out and have a presence. And so we'll have a way for people to sign up for email updates throughout the process, as well as connections to social media accounts. So that's in progress, and we should have an update in the next couple weeks around rolling that out. And then we are talking with two community organizations, and we haven't finalized contracts yet, so I don't want to talk too much about the specifics around it, but we are working with two community organizations to hire folks from the community, specifically those in frontline communities related to climate, to hire those folks to talk with their communities around what's important to them and what the city and the community and the county should be focusing on when it comes to climate action and climate adaptation. So hopefully we can get those contracts finalized before the end of the month, and then start to advertise for those positions and bring some folks on board. So it looks like we'll be able to hire up to 10 people from the community to participate as community coordinators for this process.
Okay, great. Yeah, because we were just concerned that we wanted to, we kind of wanted to put information out there about what we're doing, and then, kind of get people interested, getting the community interested, so that as we tackle each phase of the climate action adaptation plan, that we have community concerns and questions at the forefront of each stage. And so that was our main concern, is that we didn't want to get to the end of it and do the social media stuff and then have nobody know what's been going on this whole time.
Right.
We kind of wanted to build the informed community with each step, and then at the final end, then people know what we're talking about, know what to expect. And so that was the discussion of why we wanted to jump on that social media piece. That's pretty much what we talked about at the climate subcommittee meeting.
Okay, thanks. I'm really happy to hear that I guess it's probably officially the county. The county is working with a E Corp on that media work. Okay, any other comments on the subcommittee report at this time? Okay, we will move on to the next thing, and Jasmine, I'll throw it back over to you then for staff report.
Thank you. So Jasmine, Sustainability Director. For the staff report, there are two things. One, now that the Sustainability Advisory Board has full membership, you all need to think about who from your group will be the designated person to serve on the Food Policy Council as a joint appointment. So we talked, I think, at our last meeting about this joint position, a joint appointment. So Michael Steinley held the position before, and now that you all have full membership again, you all need to decide who from your group would like to be appointed as a food policy council member as well. So just wanted to elevate that. And if you all have questions about what that commitment is, please reach out to me and I will get you connected with all the resources that you need to know about the Food Policy Council and their meeting schedule and what they do and their focus areas. So does anybody have questions about that?
That sounds super interesting.
Okay.
Like, if that wasn't like somebody else's, pet project that they had just like really been wanting, I would certainly volunteer for that or help out whoever else, wanted to.
Thanks, Sarah. And I know we're going to be, I'm going to have a one-on-one conversation with Sarah to do orientation anyway, so I'm happy to talk more about that council and how it interacts with this one, so you can learn more.
Jasmine, I feel like we've, as a board, discussed this a couple of times with some information. And so it seems at this point that it's really a position that would be open to the first person who's willing to say that they're interested and willing to serve. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't require a vote or anything. It's really just, an individual who wants to. So Sarah, if that does become something that you are interested in after talking to Jasmine about what that's like, I welcome you to do that.
And just so you know, process-wise, like Jackie said, there's not a, this group doesn't need to decide on that and take a vote, but if you are interested in doing that, you would need to apply for the Food Policy Council or to be appointed. So we can work through that as well. So any other questions or discussion around that item? Okay. And then the second thing that I wanted to update you all on is that there has been some action in Topeka in the state legislature related to energy. And so there is a bill that I think it was introduced today into committee on the Senate side for utilities related to energy choice. And the essence of the bill is that it wants to preempt cities or jurisdictions from deciding what kind of energy is permissible within their borders. So this is in response to the 100% renewable energy ordinance that the city adopted last year. And from my understanding, it's the natural gas companies that have developed this language. So I just wanted to make you aware of that. Our city attorney's office is tracking this and will be making a statement. But just wanted to also let you all know that this is probably coming.
So I have a question. This is Kay. So now I noticed that, and this kind of goes back, this energy question goes back relative to what we discussed at our December meeting regarding comments to the Evergy rate case. And at the time, Jasmine, your letter back to us said that the city of Lawrence did not agree that this had the KCC order and Evergy's request for different rates for solar customers did not fall within the energy scope. The energy policy and priorities scope is pretty general, and I was disappointed to see that the city attorney had decided that that particular rate case the city could not respond to. Now the priorities has been for the city has been slightly reworded, not much of difference in the substance, and I think that what you're saying is that there's going to have to be a separate discussion then because I would think that this new bill also doesn't fall in the energy scope. Jasmine, what is your take on that? I'm still very unhappy that that the city chose not to respond to the KCC's Evergy rate case.
So Jasmine Moore, Sustainability Director. I had some further conversation with the city manager's office around that issue and getting some clarity on what the legislative platform covers and what is required to go to city commission versus covered in the legislative platform. And so the latest information that I have is that the legislative platform should cover commissions, state commissions, and things outside of the legislature solely. So that is different from the information that that I got last month. But as a result of that conversation, I did get some clarity, and moving forward, it should be covered and should not require an additional motion or action by the city commission. With the current bill that's been introduced, it is covered by the legislative platform, and it's also covered because it is an ordinance of the city. So because of those two things, this will not require action at the city commission level. We can go ahead and the mayor can submit testimony based on those two things.
That's good. I don't know that the KCC has made their decision yet on the Evergy case, but if the current staff position is that the KCC will, the staff has proposed to adopt the flat rate for all customers of Evergy, and that is going to penalize some of the marginalized people that use energy, as well as some people that have worked very hard to have energy efficient homes. I think that in light of the fact that you've got a change in the decision on whether or not the city, without board approval, can go forward with comments, we should probably look and see if there's still time to provide testimony. I really feel like that that also has an impact on the city's ordinance with its plan to be 100% renewable in the future. And especially since it appears that Evergy does not really want private solar, but they will be glad to have you sign up for theirs. It really will be a problem, and I think that we need to follow both cases very closely. And I'm glad that you brought up the situation with the natural gas companies. This is not just Lawrence that has these plans moving forward, but it looks like Lawrence was targeted.
This is Jasmine, Sustainability Director. Thanks for those comments, Kay. I will go back and if there is an opportunity to still make comment on that KCC item, I will pursue that. And there was one other thing that you said that I wanted to follow up on that now it's gone. So I'll try to get it back.
Okay, thank you.
Jasmine, do we have any indicators on the level of support for that legislation?
Yes, so it was related to that. So Jasmine, Sustainability Director, one thing I wanted to mention is that it looks like this is not unique to Kansas. This is something that the natural gas industry is introducing in multiple states. So while it may be in reaction to Lawrence's action last year, it's not specific to Kansas. So wanted to share that. And then we're still, gathering information. I think they're like I said, I think it was introduced today, so we're just trying to keep a finger on the pulse of what the conversations are around it. It is a clear attempt at preemptive legislation and taking some powers away from local governments, which is on the legislative platform for our city and many other cities. So that's one thing that is an issue. I know that one of the arguments for their bill is related to affordable energy, and they're making the case that energy like natural gas is an affordable energy choice, and if cities prohibit energy choices like that it will have a result of increasing energy costs for residents and businesses. So we're keeping an eye on it, and we'll see how the conversation goes.
This is Makakwa. Do we have the tone of some of the public comments regarding this? And also, what if there is time? What type of suggestions or advice or advisement would we give to the Lawrence City Commission?
So I have been in meetings all afternoon, so I haven't seen anything that's come out of it being introduced today. So we'll go back and see if there has been discussion around it and take note of the conversation. The City Commission does not have to take action on this. This is already covered within the platform, so we'll be working with the mayor to draft some testimony related to this. It's just currently in committee, so that's the current status.
Jasmine, I worked with the Lawrence Chamber on developing an energy priorities statement for their legislative priority statement, and the Lawrence Chamber would, I feel confident, would want to have Lawrence maintain its individuality, and I'll get you their legislative priority statement as well, but I will be talking to the Lawrence Chamber about that.
This is Ben Sykes. I'm sure I don't understand all of the ins and outs of what's going on here, but it seems to me that if the natural gas groups are part of the lobbying effort behind the introduction of this bill, it's probably because they feel like they would be losing competition against Evergy, right? That would be the main producer of all of the renewable energy that the city of Lawrence or other cities would buy. So it feels a little bit like caught between a rock and a hard place. If Evergy would naturally be effective at trying to push back against not allowing local control for decisions on energy, particularly surrounding renewables, but they are also pushing the platform that individuals that are making their own energy are having to pay this surplus. Can you kind of give me an impression of if I'm understanding that correctly, that these are kind of counterbalancing elements, or am I understanding that wrong?
Makakwa may want to mention that we had the gas company individual at a couple of our subcommittee meetings for climate change, and he wasn't happy about it.
So I had proposed about inviting him to the climate change subcommittee, and I think we just now decided to invite him because it was kind of contested whether we should invite him or not. But I think we did at the last subcommittee meeting say that we should open it up. And I think I brought it up to the SAB committee as well, the SAB board, and the SAB board said, yes, we can invite him. But this is something we can definitely talk with them about, you know, and discuss it in our climate change subcommittee further as well.
And the substance of it was that he didn't feel like that natural gas should be excluded from renewables.
Percent renewable ordinance as well.
Makokwa, I think your audio was kind of muted for part of that. Could you say that again?
Jasmine and I, he was pushing, not only was the, what Kay was mentioning, but also he was pushing back on the 100% renewable goal for the city ordinance.
Okay, thanks. And yeah, Ben, to your point, the answer is sort of. That could be one way to go about it, but it's not necessarily, you know, all of the renewable. There are options for obtaining 100% renewables that extend beyond Evergy. What those are, or what the options are that are available to Lawrence is murky because of current legislation. So yes and no. There are also electric utility companies similar to Evergy who have pushed back on legislation like this in other parts of the country. So I just don't have a lot of hope that that would be a counterbalance that would appear in this situation.
Can I say something? This is Kira.
Of course.
I feel like this would set kind of a bad precedent for meeting with lobbyists. Like if we're gonna give this guy our time, which none of us have like a spare minute really, are we really gonna just start like taking our precious time and like listening to lobbyists' concerns? Is that really what we should be doing right now?
But the situation is with legislation, we're going to have to address it. And there's going to be if we're interested in pushing back on the legislation, we need to not only have the city of Lawrence look at this, but also request others provide comment. This really is a big deal. And I would like, if Jasmine, if you have the bill number, that would be, I'd appreciate that. And also for anyone that wants to know, because of, actually they've been working on this for the last several years, but you can go online and watch the proceedings of the legislative committees now. And I think that we should get the links to these committees and find out when this committee is going to be assigned a hearing.
So
This bill is going to be assigned a hearing.
This is Jasmine, Sustainability Director. I just found it has been assigned a bill number, so it's Senate Bill 24. I'll include the link in the chat, and then I'll also include it in the minutes. So there you have it.
Right? This is Malco Kwa, sorry. But we have an energy subcommittee. Is there a way that the people on the energy subcommittee can follow this and report back?
As far as I know, it's just me. This is Kay. But I'm glad to have other people join with me. Our original subcommittee was for energy efficiency, but we can retitle it whatever
That's
we
funny.
need.
I thought the subcommittee was me and Deb. So
Oh,
that just speaks to kind of our
Well, nobody's ever asked me to a meeting.
Well, there hasn't been an energy subcommittee meeting for quite some time because our item that we were working on was the renewable energy piece. And since that kind of happened early last year, there just hasn't been much since. There wasn't a second, I don't think there was a second priority for that subcommittee.
Jasmine, you'll recall that I did ask to be put on that committee.
Yeah, and so Jasmine, Sustainability Director, that is one of the things that this group needs to talk about is, subcommittee, what are the subcommittees that you all want to focus on and what are your priorities? And then membership of those subcommittees. I did want to elevate a comment in the chat that is a question about can non-members of the board be on subcommittees? The answer is yes. Historically, there hasn't been a whole lot of non-members on subcommittees, but that is allowed.
And I guess my question to that, which we had kind of discussed, is that non-members can be present, but would they have the ability to vote for subcommittee business?
This is Jasmine, Sustainability Director. That has not been established as a practice. So there is not a hard and fast rule around what subcommittees are and how they function. And so there's a lot of latitude around how you would prefer subcommittees to function. And so that would really be up to this group and whether you want to have consistency across subcommittees or if you want each subcommittee to develop their own rules about how they operate.
Can we put that on the agenda for the next meeting to discuss that?
And maybe, Jasmine, do you have any direction from city staff, city management, I suggest?
Jasmine, Sustainability Director. As far as the structure of subcommittees, there aren't a whole lot of other boards and commissions that have subcommittees. There are some, but they don't necessarily operate similarly across boards. So I can speak to what I have closest experience with is the Food Policy Council. And they have several what they call working groups, but they're subcommittees. They function in the same way. And so they have an established meeting schedule. They are open to anybody who wants to show up. And they, I believe, work on a consensus basis. So it's less about voting and more about finding consensus. And then anything that comes out of those working groups can elevate to the larger Food Policy Council for a vote when appropriate. Those working groups also do a lot of research and actually work closely with staff on elevating and advancing some things as well. So I'm happy to share more about how the Food Policy Council does its work within working groups, and then I can also ask about some of the ways that other city boards function.
Oh, we can't hear you.
Guidance for our subcommittees.
Makokwa, we missed the first part of your question.
Oh, I said that would be great, especially to find out for the next meeting so we can discuss it and get some direction for our subcommittees. And then guidance for our subcommittees, especially since some of them haven't met in a while. And so giving some guidance to subcommittees would be really helpful, I think. And then it looks like Dawn in the comments wanted to be on a couple of subcommittees as well.
This is Jackie, Chair. I just want to jump in really quick because this is getting down a subcommittee path. And I'm going to echo something that Jasmine said before, which is that this is something that SAB does need to talk about. I think SAB needs to talk about it in a broader context of our future agenda item, which is developing goals for 2021. And so because some SAB subcommittees have been pretty inactive over the last year, and because SAB has kind of been recycling the same goals for a few years, it's not up to me, but I think it is very important for SAB to start from scratch on what it is exactly that we want to put our effort behind. And that doesn't have to be things that have been on our list right now, but it needs to be starting from scratch, because we have a completely different membership from the last time we started from scratch. And we need people to be interested in the work that they're doing. So I'm not sure when that discussion is slated to be held. I'm hoping that it will be very soon. And I'm hoping that it will be an entire meeting dedicated to, getting all the brainstorming done and then narrowing down the focus. And then from there, determining what our subcommittees are and who serves on them. I hope that sounds like a reasonably organized way to go about it.
This is Ben Sykes. I agree with what you said, Jackie, and thinking more broadly. I just wanted to note that I did click on the bill that you were talking about, or that you linked to, Jasmine. And the other thing that struck out to me was that the ranking minority member on that utilities committee is Marcy Francisco, which represents the Lawrence area. So it might be wise to touch base with her staff so that she's aware of that, or they may already be aware of it and have a specific plan, or at least some thoughts on it that would probably be wise to understand what their perspective on it is.
She's aware of it because they introduced it in the committee. So I don't know. That's the reason why it's important to find out when the hearing will be, but it certainly would be good for individuals to talk to Marcy, to Senator Francisco, I should say.
New goals, and I agree with you. Thank you for that suggestion, and I think that should be one of our priorities for this year. People hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can't usually hear your audio for the first 3 or 4 seconds though. So it sounds like you're getting cut off at the beginning.
Sorry, I was just echoing what you said, and I wanted to thank you for that suggestion, and hopefully we can put that on maybe a future meeting just dedicated to that. I don't know if that would be a regular SAB meeting or a separate SAB meeting.
In the past, it was a regular one, but it can be either, and it is under your new ability to call a special meeting if you wanted to dedicate specific time to it rather than our regular monthly meetings that we have.
It looks like to me, if you look on that bill page that Jasmine sent out, they also have the audio stream where you can follow along on there, and they provide agendas in the testimony. So that I think that page that she sent is the right page to follow this information.
Okay, can we get all of these links and names and the number of the bill, everything that we need to know? Can we start uploading it to the Slack so that I can start referring to it?
This is Jasmine, Sustainability Director. Yes, Kira, I'll share it that way as well.
Cool, thanks.
I'm wondering, I haven't gotten on that website, or I think I was invited when I first joined the SAB, but I haven't since gotten on there. So I don't know. I think you maybe need to send the link out to everybody too.
I believe the Slack was for the climate subcommittee, was it not? I've never seen it either, Kay.
This is Jasmine, Sustainability Director. I think you're right about that, but I'll go back and look. And I think it was just for a few people to just share articles of interest instead of emailing articles. They were sharing articles that way. So, but no one's used it except for Kira. So you can think about if it's a effective way to do that, or if it's not, then we can pivot to something else.
Is there some kind of group calendar that we're all on where we'll have stuff that will come up that will say today is the day they're having like their chamber hearing for Evergy like last month? Like, is there a thing for that, or is that in part of Slack too?
There is not. Well, there's not anything that exists now that has that information.
Can we have some kind of like family calendar for important dates coming up that we should know?
That may be something that that you all can organize. I will say, yeah, we can talk more about that. And I just wanted to check in about quorum. I'm thinking with Makokwa gone that eliminates quorum. Is that right, Jackie?
I believe so, yeah, we're down to
Okay.
5. But I also don't see any further items on our agenda that require a vote, so we should be okay to continue discussion. I
Correct.
believe. Okay. Are there any further staff report items?
No.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna run through our list of future agenda items really quickly. So as we discussed already, developing goals for 2021 for SAB. We have some follow-up on the solar and transit facility. And then we have our offer to have a short presentation on light pollution regulation in Lawrence. Are there any other future agenda items that we need to add? Was there anything that we talked about that I missed?
Chair, this is Jasmine Moore, Sustainability Director. We did have someone who was interested in giving public comment on the future agenda items.
Okay, thank you.
Chris Tilden was the person.
Oh, okay, thanks. I see you, Chris. Go ahead.
Hi, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you for a few minutes. I know that you're just in the early process of beginning to think about 2021 goals. I wanted to throw out the idea that one of the goals for 2021 be built around active transportation. There are a number of efforts underway in the community where I can see a role for the Sustainability Advisory Board. There is a recently completed Safe Routes to School plan that was overseen by MPO and both the Health Department and Louisville-Douglas County, of which I am a part. And I'm speaking as an individual, not as representative of any group, but I know several organizations have some grant funding that will be used to support implementation of the Safe Routes to School plan. Something I'd also really like to see us focus on is our bikeway network. Again, we have a really, what I think is a strong bikeway plan. What we don't often do is go back and look at the progress we're making and ascertain the degree to which we think we're making sufficient progress. If you look at the primary bike network that was part of the MPO's plan, we're still at about 40% of that network not yet complete. And if you look at the proposed projects in the 2021 through 2025 CIP, I think we're still going to be a long way towards a connected network in 2025. Not to say that we should be complete, but I really think it would be worthwhile to examine some ways that we might make better progress. And I think, promoting active transportation and encouraging shift of mode to biking, public transit, et cetera, are certainly consistent with the climate change and sustainability goals that you all pursue. I think the Multimodal Transportation Commission definitely has a role as it relates to things like the bike and pedestrian networks. So it might be worthwhile thinking about like a shared study session between you and that, the Sustainability Advisory Board and that group. That commission has actually been having quite a few shared meetings with Planning Commission and other advisory boards in the community to discuss kind of shared goals and shared interests. So I'll stop with that, but I appreciate the opportunity to make public comment and look forward to seeing the development of your goals for 21.
Hey, Christopher, this is Kira. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I certainly can.
You should find out when our climate, I know we just said we're going to make like some new committees, but until we do, you should start showing up for our climate subcommittee. One of the main things I'm pushing for that is that there will be citywide bike lanes that are reinforced by concrete barriers or walls, citywide, not just main roads, not just little roads, literally everywhere, as well as free electric buses and actual weatherproof bus shelters, and then walking. Like, we need to adopt the Amsterdam model of transportation if we're going to have, any hope of dealing with the climate crisis. So you're right, it works perfectly. We absolutely need to start working together.
Yeah, no, I appreciate those comments, and recognizing that non-members can participate on some of your subcommittees. I definitely look forward to participating. Thanks.
If you will leave your email address in the comments, I'll email you later, okay?
Will do.
Okay, thank you so much, Chris. Is there any other public comment?
I was just going to ask, is this a public comment time?
Yeah, go ahead, Don.
I wasn't clear if you were talking about developing goals outside of a regular open meeting, but I hope that discussion takes place in a meeting that's open to the public, just so, we can listen along and maybe be part of that discussion. But I just think that this group really needs to focus a lot on energy and understanding, and having people like, having Black Hills representatives and renewable, energy efficiency companies. And I think this group should really focus on how is the city going to really achieve these 100% renewable goals. So I feel like that's such a huge, it's going to be a big shift, and there's so much that goes into that process that the group really needs to understand and be engaged with the public, and also following legislation. So I'm glad to get the update from Jasmine about that. And then the other priority that I think the group should focus on is clean water, because there's a lot of forces at play that are jeopardizing clean water in Douglas County. So those are my two suggestions.
Thank you, Don. And just on your point about open meetings, it would definitely be an open meeting. Ideally, we would have a quorum or more of our members, and that would require it to be an open meeting.
Hey, this is Kira. I love everything that you said, Dawn. I'm really, really grateful for your support. And I want you to keep coming. You know what? I just trailed off because my dog just did a thing. I can't remember what anyway, I'm really, really grateful for the input, Dawn. And I hope you do keep coming, because you're really valuable.
Oh, thanks. The other thing I wanted to suggest is maybe like a retreat, like a Saturday. I think it's frustrating that our meetings, I say I'm not really an official member. I don't know. Could I be? That's another question I have, is can I be a member at large, or how is that structured? Because I want to be involved, but I don't really know how much I can be as a lurker on these Zoom meetings.
This is Jasmine, Sustainability Director. Don, you are always welcome to attend. Currently, all the appointed spots are full. In the past, especially before Zoom, when it was just people sitting around a table in a room, it was a much more informal meeting space, and it felt like there was more opportunity for everybody in the room, whether you were there as a voting member or just a member of the public, to interact and have conversation. It's a little different dynamic in the Zoom world, and it's also a little different dynamic in the City Commission room rather than the Parks and Rec administration space. So I would say that I'm encouraged by the conversations around subcommittees and ability to get involved there. There's a lot of work to be done, even though you all haven't decided what your priorities are going to be. I think we all know there's a lot of work to be done. So I think that if you're able to, as a board, decide what that subcommittee structure is going to look like and how people can plug into that, there's a great opportunity to add your value in those spaces. I also wanted to mention that if the board does decide to do a meeting outside of its regular schedule, that meeting will be posted and you will be notified, just like you were notified about this meeting. Some other commission or boards have had retreats, even via Zoom. So that's always a possibility as well. And for a conversation around developing goals, usually that does run longer than a regular board meeting. So I'll just share that as information, and I'll share with the rest of the board as well that if the board would like to have a retreat style meeting via Zoom, then we can get that scheduled, and staff will work around your schedule at the board. So if that needs to be on a weekend, or if you would rather have it in an evening, or if you want to spread it out over 2 meetings over a couple days, there's any number of options for that. But just wanted to share that information.
Is there any other comment on future agenda items or additional agenda items to add to our list? Okay, I don't hear anything. I'm going to move on to member updates then, and then since we've got a couple new people tonight, I'll just kind of give a brief, description of member updates. It's really anything in your personal, professional, sustainability related life that you wish to share with the board, any upcoming events that you would like us to be aware of, that sort of thing. It's very open. Well, I don't have an update per se, since you all know I'm not going to be chair going forward. But considering that I'm not going to be chair, and considering that we have some goal work to go through soon, I do intend to send out a few questions for you to kind of noodle around in your brain, some resources on different types of projects that you could be interested or take on for SAB in order to prepare for the discussion that we'll have coming up. Because I know, if you're suddenly inundated with this huge question of what can Lawrence do to help solve, the climate crisis, that is so broad. So I know for me in particular, it helps if I'm thinking about it beforehand. And anytime I hear of an idea that I think I would like to work on, I'm going to write it down on a list, and that way I'll be prepared for the brainstorming part of our discussion in the future, and hopefully we can get a really wide variety of topics out at that part. That's it. Okay, it didn't sound like we had any other member updates, so I am going to open it up for general public comment again, as that is part of our agenda. So if there's any further public comment, go ahead and turn, oh, Kay, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, Jackie, before we go to public comment, I would like to say thank you for being the chair for SAB, and I really think your contributions have been great. So, you know, we didn't really have an official place or time. I don't know if you get plaques or what, you know, this is the first time I've seen an outgoing chair, so I don't know. But really, you should get a round of applause for all the things that have happened. At least since I've been on, there's been quite a bit of activity, and that has gotten through the city commission. So I really appreciate everything that you've done.
That was very nice to hear. I really appreciate you saying so. And I will say too, I'm incredibly proud of the work that the board has achieved over the past couple of years. You're right, there has been quite a bit of activity, and that was amazing to witness. There are still things underway in terms of legislation that we've proposed to the city. So I look forward to continuing to see that move forward and get passed. Thank you.
Hey, I'm not religious, but I think we should nominate you for a sainthood.
I'm not either, so I don't know if I would accept that willingly. But thank you, I appreciate it. I
Really
definitely get your sentiment out of it.
You did
really
endure a lot.
Thanks. It felt like it sometimes. Other times it's certainly a high privilege. Okay, I'll officially move to public comment now. If there's any other general public comment, go ahead and turn your camera on.
There's no one in the chambers.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that concludes our agenda, and I will see you all next month with our new chair and vice chair. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Bye, Jackie.
Bye.
Bye, Jasmine.
Thanks.